So a question I sometimes get is, and I feel like I've been getting it more frequently, which is why I wanted to make this video. That question is, why do you go to gay bars? And I find that the people who ask me this the most are gay themselves, but they're gay guys who are very anti gay community, and they associate something like a gay bar with the scene, like the gay scene. And to each his own. Everybody has their own opinion on all this stuff, but I can sense typically that when I'm asked this, there's a judgmental undertone that's kind of like, why do you need to go to gay bars? Like, gay bars are for a very specific kind of gay person, and you're not that, and da 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 da. And so I want to address this question. For me, it's very simple, the answer to that, which is that there's a comfort level that comes with being at a gay bar versus, a regular straight bar. And I can understand that someone who is very disconnected from other gay people and maybe doesn't have any gay friends and just uses the apps to talk to different guys that they want to talk to, I can understand that for them it's a different experience, so they haven't necessarily gone through certain stages that I've gone through as somebody who has craved a connection with other gay men, not even just romantically, but just to have friends and have a group of friends that are gay. When I was 21 years old living in New York City, as soon as I hit 21, I started going to the gay bars, and at that time, apps didn't really have, I don't even know if Tinder existed. I guess it probably did, because I remember I had friends who used OkCupid and stuff, so at the time, I'm sure Tinder, comparable apps existed, but I was off the grid in terms of those kinds of apps, and there was still way more of a stigma than with dating apps, and now everybody uses dating apps. But at that time, bars really felt like the most logical place to make connections with other gay men, so it just started out that way, and there was such a sense of freedom with going to a bar, meeting other gay men, and then on top of that, meeting guys who I was attracted to, but who could potentially be attracted to me back. That was such a mind-blowing experience because it was so novel and it was so new to me. And no matter what connection you find on an app, even if you find your partner on an app, your lifelong partner, there's something that can't be duplicated about meeting somebody in person. And obviously there's other places you can meet somebody in person, but as a gay person, you're limited because you can't just go to the bookstore and see somebody and just assume they're gay. You might assume they're gay, but at a gay bar, there's this established kind of unspoken rule that you're probably both gay. And you can't duplicate that effect of that in-person chemistry, and you both feel it, and you're both kind of this is interesting. Obviously you can meet somebody special from an app, but there's something about that in-person spontaneity and serendipity of you just met at the right place at the right time, and this easily you could have missed each other, but one of you decided to talk to the other. And I'll never forget those experiences. But even beyond that, there's one specific story that I'll also never forget. And this is always the story I share when people will ask, why do you still have a desire to go to gay bars? I've shared this story before on, I think, only one video, but my first date ever, I was 21, and it was with a guy I met at a gay bar, and we went out to dinner, and I'll never forget how uncomfortable this date was. The table right next to us at the restaurant kept staring at us, and maybe that was just me being 21, being self-conscious, and maybe my memory of it isn't actually what reality was, but it just felt like they were staring us down. And presumably because we were two men on a date. And then the two of us went to a bar, a regular bar, straight bar. And there was this loud jazz band playing. And we got a drink, a glass of wine. And this belligerently drunk, big, ogre-like man came by, and it was midwinter, so he had a mitten or a glove or whatever, and he dangled it above us like a mistletoe, but mocking us. He made a face because he could see that we were two guys on a date. So I instantly kind of like tense up. You know, this is my first date ever. I'm 21 and we're, you know, in some random bar in the East Village of New York City. And the jazz band is playing really loudly. And I see the big drunk man mouth something, but I can't hear what he's saying because it's so loud. And eventually I figure out what he's saying because I see him mouthing, faggot, faggot. And I finally like hear it peripherally that that's what he's saying. And he's pointing to his friends like, look, faggots, faggots. And I still can't believe this happened because this was, you know, this modern hip neighborhood in New York City, but that's what happened. And I remember looking at his friends who were some laughing with him, some laughing at him, but nobody was like alarmed, like this is not cool, like we should bring him over back to us. Nobody did anything. And the guy I was on a date with, who was considerably older than me, he was 35, he also didn't do anything and just kind of shrugged it off, which I guess is like the mature way to handle it. But it was such an uncomfortable date, and I never forgot about that moment, and it ruined the date for me. And I always thought, no matter what you think of gay bars, this would never happen at a gay bar. You know, you wouldn't be surrounded by straight people who are watching you and potentially mocking you. That doesn't happen. You know, they might mock you for different reasons at a gay bar, but you can be who you are freely as a gay person and not have to like watch over your shoulder or feel self-conscious that you're not the norm. So I always feel the need to share this story with people who ask me, because it's clear to me when I'm asked this that they have no reference for what some gay people experience, not just in their childhoods, but in adulthood. And I don't want to play like the victim card, like, oh, this was like the worst moment of my life, but I'm just saying this stuff happens and it's unfortunate, but the result is that then people like me who are, I guess, sensitive enough to that don't want to experience that again. If I want to, you know, touch a man who I'm flirting with, who I'm interested in, and I want to feel that connection and that intimacy, if I want to kiss him in public, I want to feel comfortable doing that. I don't want to feel like I'm being watched or I should check my behavior. And the reality is, no matter how campy or trashy some gay bars are, nobody's gonna look twice at you and give you like, you know, throw judgmental gaze because you're two men having this bond together in that moment. It'll be interesting to see how gay bars evolve over time, just because of the, you know, advantages that technology has brought us now. But at the same time, there's only so much that technology can replace. But I do think the necessity or the importance of a bar, specifically gay bars, is decreasing now with how much things are changing and how easy it is with the click of a finger to find a guy that you want to have sex with, or that you want to go on a date with, or even just be friends with. Always curious what you guys think about this.
Another hot show at the bar. After the jam, I caught your glance from afar.